I never got my spark.
Yes, you did. Your spark isn't your purpose. That last box fills in when you're ready to come live.
As long as it doesn't come near us, we're gonna be okay.
So no question Pete Docter has come a long way, possibly becoming Pixar's greatest director. With that said, I still have a soft spot for his first Pixar film, Monsters, Inc. A large part of that is because of the relationship between Sully and Boo. And with the ending making it clear they could still see each other in the future, I think we all collectively knew where this was going. College prequel. Yeah, I know Monsters University has its fans, and I'm not one of them, but I understand people who enjoy it. For me, though, this was a huge missed opportunity about where the relationship between Boo and Sully could go. How long would he visit her? Would they stay friends as she grows up? Would she tell anyone she saw monsters? This is all great material for a sequel that was thrown away for PG Animal House cliches. At least in my opinion. So, in trying to follow a similar tone and the evolving style of Pete Docter, I decided to write a story about what I think would happen after Sully reunites with Boo. Keep in mind too, at the time of writing this, the new Monsters Inc. show hasn't come out yet, so I have no idea if there will be any similar ideas. If there are, just coincidence. So sit back and enjoy, this is FanScription for Monsters Inc. 2, If Boo Grew Up. We open a flashback of Mike saying farewell to Boo and telling her to go grow up. Sully hugs her goodbye and the door is destroyed. Cut to later with Mike handing Sully the last piece of the now fully restored door. He enters and hears Boo once again saying, "Kitty!" We then get a montage of Sully playing with Boo over the years, giving her piggyback rides, playing with toys, even having a tea party. Every once in a while her parents would knock and Sully would rush to the closet.
Mary, everything all right in there?
The parents peek in and see only their daughter.
How does such a small kid make that much noise?
Years go by as Boo gets older and continues to play with Sully. At about 10 years old, she tells Sully about a big test she has at her school.
Everyone else is so much smarter than me. I know I'm gonna fail.
Now don't say that. You're the smartest kid in class.
You don't know the other kids in class.
See? If they're so smart, how come I haven't heard of them?
She smiles, but still looks depressed. At school, she takes her test and hears a psst sound. She turns towards the classroom closet and sees Sully giving her a thumbs up. She smiles, feeling more confident. We later see her getting her test back with an A. She secretly shows it to Sully, who does a silent victory dance. Afterwards, her and the other kids come back into the room from recess. They all throw their heavy sports equipment into the closet, but Boo swears she sees Sully still in there.
No! No!
Boo dives into the closet, pulling all the equipment out.
My friend's in there!
What?
Sully, he's a monster,
She suddenly realizes it was a kid's coat that looked like Sully. Her face turns red as everyone looks at her confused. Time passes as kids, teachers, and even her parents tell her she can't keep believing in monsters.
Mary, we've talked about this. Monsters aren't real. You can't keep acting like this.
We see her drawing pictures of Sully at school as other kids mock her.
Hey, Mary, thinking of making some real friends this year?
Mary walks home thinking about everything she's been told. Cut to her and Sully arguing in her room with tears in her eyes.
I'm sorry, Boo. I just wanted to make you feel better.
Everybody's making fun of me. They all think I'm crazy.
Boo!
I can't take it anymore. Nobody wants to be around someone who talks to monsters.
It's okay. We'll think of something.
It's not okay. Everybody says you're in my mind. I don't want to see you anymore.
Sully is heartbroken.
Boo. You don't mean that.
Everyone says I need to grow up, and whenever you appear, I get hurt.
Boo.
She dries her eyes and looks him straight on, speaking calmly but firmly.
My name is Mary, and I want you to go away.
With her eyes now tearless, Sully's eyes begin to water. He slowly walks back into the closet, giving one last look at her. She turns away, trying not to look at him. He exits through the closet. She goes to see her parents in the other room. They notice she's been crying.
Mary?
He's not coming back.
Her parents both give her a hug. Cut to Sully, who's back home in his room. He looks at the old monster costume they made for Boo years ago. He curls up on the couch, not making a sound. Cut to years later as Monsteropolis is 5 times bigger than previously seen. It's practically a monstertopia. A Monsters, Inc. intro play is sharing the history of this phenomenal growth, citing children's laughter providing more power than ever. The video is hosted by new CEO Celia May, who rose through the ranks and is now leading their most prosperous year to date. Monsters continue to make children laugh as clowns, fall comics, pretty much any zany avenue they can come up with. Mike exits a closet after another successful laugh riot. Celia, checking on everyone's progress, approaches him.
Sounds like another satisfied customer.
Hey, who knew it was easy to make children laugh?
Well, I know I can't show favoritism because I'm married to you, but I can say half my hair thinks you're the funniest monster on the floor.
Well, that's because the other half hates me from almost choking him learning to braid.
Oh no. It's Johnny Worthington.
Yeah, I know. I don't like Monsters U, but I want to connect them somehow.
He's gonna sell his stupid robot idea again.
Johnny walks by the others wheeling in a prototype android monster. Fear not, my tentacle temptress. I'll take care of him. She exits as Johnny tries to run towards her, but Mike keeps blocking his way.
Celia, I've made some real exciting breakthroughs for.
Yeah, she knows. You're automated monsters. You know, machines aren't exactly the best at making children laugh.
But that's the breakthrough. I've programmed them to have an amazing sense of humor. Listen, 27B/6, why did the chicken cross the road?
Destroy all humans.
They awkwardly stare at each other.
And that's just the start.
Johnny.
Okay, look, these were designed to scare children, and they still can. I just need the opportunity.
Johnny, it's not about scaring anymore. It's about laughs. As husband of the CEO...
Which means nothing.
Not to me. We're gonna pass on this again. Mike starts to walk away.
Oh, I see. Since the most popular monster has fallen, you get chummy with the next popular. Is that it?
Mike stops for a moment. The words clearly affected him. Mike takes a breath and walks away. At Sully's house, we see his place is trashed, having not cleaned it in months and spending most of his time watching TV like a zombie. Mike visits him and explains how he needs to get his life back together. He says there's only so long he can live on pity checks that Celia gives him due to his years of great work. It's clear they've had this conversation many times as Mike has tried everything from setting him up on dates to getting him new hobbies. Every time you act like you're getting better, there's always some sort of relapse. Mike looks up and sees Boo's old monster costume. And I know the culprit. He walks towards the costume.
What are you doing, Mike?
What you should have done a long time ago! I'm taking this vacuum of poison memories and... Cut to a trash can shoved over Mike's body with Sully cracking his knuckles, putting it right back so that it may never be moved again. Sully sits back down as Mike takes the trash can off. He addresses Sully before exiting. There's only so much I can do to help, Sully.
I didn't ask for your help.
Mike sighs. Okay, buddy, but ask yourself this. You think Boo is sitting around all day moping about the past? Sully folds his arms.
Her name is Mary.
Mike exits. Cut to Mary, who has grown up, fittingly enough, into a child psychiatrist. She seems well adjusted and is trying to help a young boy who seems depressed, never looking up from his phone.
So, Billy, how have your nightmares been?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
She smiles like she's heard that line before.
You know, Billy, a lot of people dream of monsters, but when you find out what's causing them, they really can't hurt you. You know, I went through something similar.
That's not what Everdark says.
She almost laughs at the name.
Everdark?
He points at his phone.
Everdark's amazing. She talks about how there's monsters everywhere and the best way to stop them is to fight them head on.
Mary leans in to look at what he's watching. On screen is what looks like an angsty goth influencer screaming against a morbid background.
That's right, kids. If you ever see a monster of any kind approach you, give them some of this!
Cut back to Mary and Billy's reactions as blood splats and chainsaws are heard. Mary looks shocked and concerned while Billy smiles with excitement.
Yeah, that's right! Get him! Get him! Smash him! Die! 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 Yeah!
Well, she seems like an upper.
Every kid I know is into it. My dad's the security guard at her office, but he says she never lets anyone in because she's too hardcore.
Is that a fact?
I tried talking about the monsters like you said, but it was taking too long, so now I just imagine myself smashing them to death.
Well, I'm glad somebody knows how to...
Another splash of blood is heard.
think of children.
Cut to Mike entering a child's room later that night, microphone in hand. Hey kid, you ever see a belch come out as a fart before? The kid grabs a metal bat he kept under his pillow and starts thrashing Mike over the head with it. Ow! Ow! Who sleeps with a bat under their pillow? Doesn't that hurt? Mike dashes out of the room and closes the door. A monster on the overhead speaker addresses him.
Another scared one?
Yeah, but he was different. He wasn't scared, he was, I don't know how to describe it, vengeful.
Probably an isolated incident. We'll get you another one.
Mike is given another door to enter. He makes the kid in that one laugh. Maybe it was an isolated incident. Weeks pass, though, as the monster's visits are greeted with more and more hostility from children. A montage shows more and more kids attacking the monsters while they try to make them laugh. Many of the monsters leave bandaged and crying to their superiors, like in a war movie.
Don't make me go back there, man! Don't make me go back there!
Celia starts to notice less laughs coming in. Their energy storage drops drastically. She discusses it with Mike.
We've never had this drastic a drop. What could it be?
I don't know. Something's happening to the kids.
Well, we have to do something. Every day we're losing power.
It's like none of them want to laugh. I've seen morticians smile more.
Celia thinks for a moment.
There might be a way.
Whoa, Celia, no. No, not...
I hate Worthington's plan as much as you do, but if this keeps up, we're not going to be able to power the city. I can't let that happen. I'm setting up a meeting with him.
Mike also thinks for a moment.
Wait, there might be another option.
Mike visits Sully again, who's noticed the electricity going on and off at his place.
Mike, can you believe it? I'm missing all my cooking shows.
Sully, what if I told you there is a way you could see Boo again?
Sully drops the remote. Mike explains how Monsters, Inc. kept tabs on Boo because of everything she saw. He explains how she became a therapist and how her knowledge might be able to figure out what's happening with all the kids.
Why me?
Well, because you're the only one she'll remember.
Fat chance. She probably thinks she dreamt me up. That's what all kids eventually think of us, right?
It's still our best bet. If you don't go, you, me, the entire city, it's all going under. This is our last resort.
After much convincing, Sully begrudgingly agrees, and they find a door that leads to her home. Mary is there watching a news report with disgust.
I just want to teach the kids it's better to strike first and strike often. Fight the monsters of the world. If you can't use your fists, use a blowtorch!
This is so bizarre.
Sully and Mike peek through the closet, Sully frozen after not seeing her for years.
She looks so different.
Have you thought about what you're gonna say?
Only since you forced me into this.
And?
I still got nothing.
I think I remember why I came up with all the plans.
Sully cautiously approaches her. She turns around, sees him, and remains surprisingly calm.
Hi, Boo.
Fascinating. Possible repressed memory brought on by stress?
What?
No, he looks too detailed. Hallucination from a secondhand substance?
She looks at her eyes in her compact.
No, pupils seem normal. A dream from too much tofu.
She pinches herself. Sully stands puzzled.
No. Well, I think I've earned this response.
Sully quickly tries to calm her down as she panics and keeps her distance.
Boo, it's okay, it's me, Sully. Don't you remember? You used to call me Kitty. Kitty, Kitty. It was cute.
No. I imagined you. You were an amalgamation of all my emotional baggage.
Boo, it's not like that.
My name is Mary, and you are a construct of my imagination. Construct of my imagination, construct of my imagination.
Sully finally brings out the big guns.
Okay, Mike. Bring it in.
Mike? As in...
Mike walks in carrying the old monster costume she used to wear. She's speechless.
You, mostly saw this from the inside, but you get the idea.
Mike Wichtowski?
You never could get that name right.
She calms down, they explain to her everything that's going on. A part of her wants to help, but another part of her still can't believe this is all really happening.
This is so much to take in. So many years, I convinced myself none of this was real.
It's okay, Boo. Mary. For what it's worth, it's really good to see you again.
It's good to see.
She thinks for a moment and becomes angry.
Wait, you left me?
Well, after you told me to leave.
I was a child. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, I was a monster. What made you think I knew any better?
Because you're an adult monster.
Oh, so that means I have all the answers.
You could have shown up any time over the years to convince me this was real.
Oh, so you can react like you are now?
Time out! I hate to see Mom and Dad argue, but we have a much bigger problem here!
He's right. If we don't figure out what's happening to these kids...
Then all of you go kaput. I got it.
So will you help us, Boo, Mary? We're desperate.
She sighs and agrees. She explains the rise of the so-called kids entertainer Everdark, showing samples of her work.
Children actually watch this? Well, they dip their cookies in while viewing A Goblet of Blood?
Children like to feel grown up, and she certainly has no problem speeding up the process.
Don't they know you're only young once and it's gone forever?
Yeah, you only get one chance, don't you?
She gives Sully a stare, letting her words sink in. Mike pulls them back to reality.
Okay, we gotta get through to these kids and stop making them laugh again. You got any tips?
Well, it's not that easy. Every kid is unique. What could make one child laugh could get no reaction from another.
Hey, that's not true. There's always this.
He lets out a gigantic burp and waits for an applause. Neither Sully nor Mary crack a smile. Boy, you really have grown up.
Could you teach us how to get through to them?
Even if I could, I don't know how well you could pass it on.
I mean, teach all of us.
You mean...
Take it back to Monsteropolis?
Like I said, we're desperate.
Mary thinks it over and eventually agrees. Back in Monsters, Inc., Johnny Worthington is giving a demo to Celia of his monster robots.
I notice your monsters are having trouble defending their own. Well, my Monstrobots are virtually indestructible. They can't be bargained with, and best yet, you don't have to pay them.
Celia sighs, not seeing much of a choice. Mike enters with Sully and Mary. Mike screams at the machine, Celia screams at Mike, Johnny screams at Mary, Mary screams at Johnny.
What, I'm gone 2 seconds? You want to start a robopocalypse?
What is she doing here? You know there's no humans allowed.
Celia, it doesn't have to be like this. Mary is going to teach everyone how to get through to children without scaring them.
Which is clearly not the angle you're taking.
We're short on time, Mike. I need to have a backup.
You mean...
She sighs.
I'm putting Worthington's designs into production.
Yes! Better luck next time, Mikey. Don't call us. We'll never call you.
However, if a way can be found to get through to the kids before they're finished, I'll scrap them.
Well, that's...
Johnny looks at Sully, Mike, and Mary. He smiles.
still not a problem.
Mary sighs. Cut to later as she's introduced to all the monsters. She quickly tries to give them a crash course in child psychology. As expected, the monsters make a lot of mistakes, often trying to do pies in the face or goofy antics before trying to connect with them. Mary as well has a hard time adjusting to the oddities of their world, being surprised with how the monster world works as well as tripping or slipping on them. As they continue to fail, Johnny's robot army only gets larger and larger. Every kid they don't connect with is another nail in the coffin. Sully tries once again to talk with Mary.
What if we just try talking to this Everdark lady? She has to know she's doing more harm than good.
It's not that easy. She's very secluded. All her interviews are done via camera. No one sees her in person.
Oh, kind of like that time you convinced me there was a force field around you?
She thinks back and smiles.
Oh yeah. You didn't really fall for that, did you?
It was a new world. I didn't know how anything worked.
She laughs.
You really were easy to manipulate.
They sit in awkward silence.
Sully, I do value the time you shared with me. It's just, we've both been away for such a long time. Can you say you're the same person you were all those years ago?
He thinks.
Who else would I be?
She smiles.
Well, I'm different, Sully. I have a life that's not what it was when I was a kid, and I need you to see that.
Sully looks down, not fully understanding.
Wait a minute. There might be a way to see her.
Mary remembers Billy's father as a security guard at Everdark's office. Through a comedic sequence, Sully, Mike, and Mary disguise themselves and sneak in, working their way to Everdark's desk. They see she's finishing up a video meeting.
Yeah, that poster is fine. But see if you can mount 5 more monster heads behind me. I really think we can fit triple digits later.
What is with this lady? I think her parents actually named it Everdark.
Suddenly they hear a familiar voice from the computer. It's Johnny.
So how's fame treating you, Everdark?
They suddenly hear another familiar voice.
Ah, don't call me that when no one else is listening.
From under the desk, Randall appears. He turns off a button in the back of Everdark's head, revealing her to be a robot. The three of them are stunned.
This is not what I expected to see this week.
Are those Monstrobots gonna be done before those pinheads and that human figure something out?
They couldn't figure out a Rubik's Cube that was painted the same color.
Don't underestimate them, we've both made that mistake. Once we prove scaring kids is the best way to generate power, they'll beg to have me back. Then we'll show them how wrong they were to trust those losers.
Sully starts to growl. Mary tries calming him down.
Sully, no, you'll blow our cover.
He growls even louder.
Sully, don't do it.
You diabolical gummy worm!
Sully, no!
Sully reveals himself, roaring at Randall. Randall panics and throws everything he can at him, destroying the office. Randall frantically smashes the security button. Mike sees guards running down the hallway.
Sully, quick! We can't be seen!
They notice the office has a closet. Mike rushes in and Sully grabs Mary's hand, following close behind. Randall bites Sully's hand, forcing him to let go. They're separated, leaving Mary behind. Mike and Sully vanish into the closet while Randall slips back under the desk. Security guards burst in with Randall controlling the Everdark robot once more.
There! That woman broke in and attacked me!
No, she attacked first. It wasn't—
Don't move, lady!
Mary freezes. One of the guards looks closely at her.
Mary?
Hi, Mr. Campbell. Billy's a great kid.
Back at Monsters Inc., Sully and Mike fall through the other side of the closet door.
Quick, find a way to get to Mary. I'm gonna warn Celia about all this.
They separate as Mike grabs an office phone and tries calling Celia. He gets the answering machine.
Celia, it's me. Johnny's planning a takeover. Get over to the office right.
He's punched out by one of the Monstrobots, with Johnny glaring over him.
Oh, Mikey, did I forget to mention? The robots are done.
Cut to Mary, who's being held in a temporary prison cell. Sully frantically looks through the doors to find a way to her. He finds a janitor's closet in the prison she's at and uses it to teleport to her. When he shows up, though, she's less than thrilled to see him.
Mary,
Don't say anything. You've done enough.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you never mean to. Yet, it always happens. How do you keep doing this? How do you keep making things worse?
Mary, we'll figure it out.
How? You're gonna help me escape? Become a convict? Even if by some miracle I'm found innocent, my career is over.
I'm sorry, Mary.
I really thought this was gonna be different. I thought if I let you back into my life, I wouldn't get...
Both of them realize she's about to repeat what she said years ago.
Hurt.
Yeah, Sully. You ruined my childhood. It only figures you ruined my adulthood, too.
They sit in awkward silence.
You're right. I asked you for help, and all you asked for was for me to listen to you. I couldn't even do that. I'm sorry I've brought you so much pain.
He sighs.
But for what it's worth, you've brought me more joy than anyone ever has in my entire life. I'll always be thankful for that.
Mary lets his words sink in.
Goodbye, Mary.
Mary reaches out and grabs his hand, stopping him from leaving.
We really are from different worlds, aren't we?
Sully shrugs.
Well, we're not gonna understand each other better if we stay separated.
A smile grows on Sully's face.
I'll try to listen more.
Mary also smiles.
Me too.
She suddenly gets an idea.
Wait, that's it. Listening.
Yeah, I am, Mary. Give me some credit.
No, that's what we've been missing.
I don't understand.
You will, though. Get me out of here first. I have a plan.
Sully easily bends the bars open and they rush to the closet door. It doesn't teleport, though.
Huh. Something must be happening on the other end.
Back at Monsters Inc., Johnny's Monstrobots fill the scare floor, ready to enter the doors to terrify children.
As soon as I prove this demo works, a new day will dawn. There will be no sympathy, no holding back. Scar those little brats for life if you must. Just make them scream until they're all out of breath. This is the future of Monsters, Inc.
Mike attempts to break loose from being held by one of the bots. Johnny smiles.
Oh, and won't it be a shame poor Mike Wazowski mysteriously vanished the same night?
No, it won't!
Johnny looks up and sees Celia with an army of monsters by her side.
Celia! So, wait, what do you mean by no it won't? That could be taken a few different ways.
I got word you were up to no good, so I made a few calls. Shut it down, Worthington. It's over.
Yeah, shut it down. You'd have to be crazy to...
Johnny gives an angered look in his eyes.
Oh boy, he's crazy. You ain't giving up, Purple Pop!
Johnny commands his Monstrobots to attack as the monsters fight back in a comedic climax, utilizing their different abilities to take each machine out. Back at Everdark's office, we see Sully and Mary sneak their way back in.
It's odd.
What is?
Randall was attacked, and yet security almost seems lighter.
When they sneak into the office, they discover why. Randall has replaced the original Everdark robot with a decked-out version filled with weapons. She's half Everdark, half Monstrobot.
Oh, good. I was hoping I'd have another chance with you.
Randall uses a remote control to attack Sully with the Everdark robot. While Sully tries to fight it off, Mary grabs Randall's keyboard and monitor and starts typing. We're not sure what she's up to. We cut back and forth between the monsters fighting the Monstrobots and Sully fighting Randall. Johnny, seeing how he's losing, holds up a self-destruct button for the Monstrobots.
Back up, or my metal babies will blow you all sky high.
All the monsters stop fighting and flee. Johnny sees Mike has gotten loose, but he pins him under his foot.
At least somebody will get what's coming to them.
Johnny gets ready to crush him, but Celia knocks him out with one of the laugh canisters.
Oh, schmookum bunny.
My Cyclops cutie.
Johnny's remote gets stepped on, causing all the Monstrobots to explode, with Celia leaning Mike back, kissing him against the explosion. It's an epically surreal sight. Back at the office, the decked-out Everdark robot explodes as well.
Huh, well, things must be going great with Worthington.
He grabs another remote, calling back the original Everdark robot. He talks using the microphone on the remote to sound like her.
Well, this version still has enough killing strength.
Sully is badly beaten and can barely stand.
You You never cared what was best for kids, did you?
Care about the kids? All I want out of them is fear, because fear is control, and control is power. If I end up damaging their puny minds for life, all the better.
That's good to know.
Randall looks up and sees Mary recording his conversation with a webcam. She quickly posts it to Everdark's social media accounts. No! Randall rushes towards the computer as Mary helps Sully up and out of the building. Randall tries frantically to delete the post.
There! Delete it! I mean, it's not like when you post something, it's uploaded forever.
Cut to a newscast the next day.
Everdark didn't realize when you post something, it's uploaded forever, as her now infamous tirade has destroyed her career in a matter of seconds. She apparently had a meltdown, destroying her office, and has since vanished.
Sully helps Mary get back into her cell, and he slips back into the janitor's closet. One of the officers approaches Mary after hearing the news story.
I get the feeling your story about Everdark trashing her own office might be a little more believable now.
Mary smiles. Cut to a few nights later in a random kid's room where a child is asleep but is woken up by Mike's voice.
Hey, Charles. Can you hear me?
Yeah? Who are you?
My name's Mike. I heard you're having a hard time fitting in at school.
Yeah, well, I just got glasses, and now everybody makes fun of me. They call me things like Four Eyes.
Aw, I understand. Something like that happened to me when I was younger, too.
It did?
Sure it did. 'Cause when I got glasses,
Mike reveals himself.
everybody called me Two Eyes.
Charles starts laughing.
No, really, they asked me, are those glasses or a monocle? I said yes.
Charles continues laughing.
The worst part was my vision was so off I had to wear an eye patch. I was blind for a week.
Charles starts laughing uncontrollably. We see Mary helping each monster perform in a similar way, getting to know the kid and then slowly stepping into the room to make them laugh. More and more kids howl with joy and Monsteropolis generates as much power as ever. After time, Mary is finally ready to go back. She gives Sully one last goodbye at her home.
So I guess the whole easing them into it thing really works.
Yep, there is surprisingly a lot of crossover between what people are afraid of and what they find funny.
Mm-hmm.
They pause awkwardly.
So, where does that leave us?
Mary sighs.
I really am thankful for the impact you had on my life, Sully.
Yeah?
But, you know, I'm not a kid anymore. I have my own life, and I need my space to grow.
Sully slowly nods.
I understand.
He starts to walk away.
But that doesn't mean we can't visit, right?
Sully turns around filled with excitement. He quickly calms himself down.
If it's all right with you, Mary.
She smiles.
You can call me Boo.
He gets teary-eyed.
Thank you, Boo.
You too, kitty.
He exits through the door. Mary smiles and looks down one more time at the monster suit she wore when she was a child. Fade to black. So there you go. That's my take on what would happen if Boo grew up. I tried to give it more of that Pete Docter feel while still keeping it in the Monsters, Inc. universe. Don't know if I succeeded, but this was my attempt. With that said, what do you think a good Monsters, Inc. sequel should be like? Should Boo be involved? Should it be about something totally different? Or should it be another prequel like Monsters U? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time on FanScription.